Hi guys, welcome to my MBA podcast about CAT preparation. So in this video, we are going to discuss about Vaibhav, so his CAT preparation journey. And also in the last 50 days, what kind of strategies you can do to improve your mock scores, and what kind of topics you can focus on. So that's what we are going to discuss in this video. So let's get started. Hi Vaibhav,
Hi, Juji. How are
welcome
you?
to this podcast.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm good, bro. You?
I'm doing good as well. Excited. Had my 3 classes today from 8:30. So it's fun.
Okay. So you just give a small introduction about like where you are coming from.
Okay. So,
And
yeah. So, hi everyone. My name is Vaibhav Pandey. I hail from a small town called Jamshedpur, Jharkhand. XLRI, people targeting XLRI
Yeah.
must know it. So, it's pretty famous as of right now in the MBA community.
correct.
So apart from that, I did my high school in science and economics. I was the only kid who had taken up economics as my extra subject.
Oh.
Post that, I got a scholarship to go abroad and study at Wheaton College, Massachusetts,
Hmm.
wherein I did my bachelor's in arts in mathematics, economics, and business management. Post that, I worked there for 6 or 8 months. Didn't feel connected to the country. It wasn't
Okay.
for me. So I came back, got all the knowledge, and came back. And after that, I worked for around 2 years at Cat King as a product management associate. So we built apps and we built dashboards across 2 years.
Cool.
So that was really fun. That was really transformative. And post that, I felt like I needed something of a more of a decision-making role, managerial role basically. So that's why I applied through Cat, and I'm here as a junior.
Nice, bro. It seems like a big journey.
Yes.
We can have a separate podcast on your journey itself. Okay. Like main thing is like why you want to do an MBA. Let's start from there. Then we can just slowly go into CAT preparation.
Yeah. So in short, like as I said, like it was more of a decision making role, more of a career advancement, as I said.
Correct.
MBA was that for me. But while preparing, going through that journey, I felt like if the journey to get into an MBA college is this big, is so transformative, is so hardworking.
Correct.
Imagine what the journey would be once you go inside. So the more I got into it, the more time I spent into the preparation journey, is when I realized that yes, MBA is something, and really it takes a person who, let's say, is on a scale of 4 out of 10 for themselves, not for the world.
Okay.
They themselves would grade them 8 out of 10 once they graduate from an MBA. The deadlines, the teamwork, the all the things that is happening throughout the day, throughout the week, 24/7, that keeps you on your toes and just mentally ready for anything in the corporate world, even if you are working for someone or you start your own thing. So that is why I got into MBA, to get that rigor and hard work and discipline basically that I really lacked in my life.
Nice option then.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start about this CAT journey. Like what kind of things you did in the last 2 months of your CAT preparation, because the video is mainly meant for that.
Yeah,
like
makes
what
sense.
steps they can do now to improve their scores.
So basically, I was a very pro mock taker. So even when I was in the first couple of months into my preparation, I was taking a mock every other week, 2 weeks apart or 1 week apart.
Okay.
And by the time I got into these last 50 days, I was more of taking mocks every other day, 1 day apart or something like that. And even some days I was taking mock every day, some weeks when I felt like I had that time and there were no festivals around the corner in the family and things like that, when I had the quiet time in my house. So things like that. So as you know, there are a lot of festivals coming up, Diwali, Chhat, and a lot of them are coming up.
Correct.
So that might be a distraction. So if you if you block those days, obviously spend time on that. But if you block those days apart from that, I would suggest you to take a mock every other day, and particularly just do a quick SWOT analysis on the broader topics of what you good at and what you are bad at. Basically, how you scored well and what you scored bad. So basically, you can do this 2 ways. You can either just go straight up, right answer, wrong answer, complete, done.
Okay.
Or you could go the way in which, let's say, there were 6 inequalities questions. You attempted 4 and you got all 4 correct. Let's say
Like
that.
compiling all the previous mocks.
So attempt, you can also see the attempt percentage, the accuracy percentage. If you calculate those things, that would be really helpful. So this is something I did even when I was starting my journey. Whenever I used to sit down and solve questions, be it mock, VRC, DLR or Quant, I would have like 25-30 questions in mind. I would write down the numbers and I would just go through solving the questions. I would time myself through the whole thing, 25,
Okay.
30 questions. Then I would basically I love numbers, so I always found numbers very intriguing and very helpful.
Cool.
So what I did, post that 30 questions, I stopped the time, I noted down the timer, I calculated the question per time, how much I was taking, which question took the most time. I had a sense because I was stuck in those questions. I would put small markers, stars, or things like that, to remind myself that I was stuck on this question and things like that. And then I would also calculate the attempt percentage, the accuracy percentage, and things like that.
Like
so
how you used in an Excel sheet?
I had a tracker on my Excel sheet. I had used pivot tables. I went on YouTube, learned pivot tables. It's really fun. Excel is really fun. So I did that, and then I was literally tracking every, like, how much was the score that I got in each section, what was the accuracy percentage, and I had graphs showing me those things. So once I saw the graphs going down topic wise and things like that, I would sit down and solve another 20 questions on those topics. Let's say if my parajumble, both my answers were incorrect, I would sit down and solve 20 to 25 parajumble questions that day itself. So that was, I would do, instead of doing a very rigorous analysis on the mock that a lot of people suggest, and I wouldn't say it is wrong. What I did was a quick analysis on broader topics. And then I would sit down and practice those broader topics in the free time, instead of analyzing the same question, sitting 2 hours, 3 hours to analyze a mock. I would suggest spend at least 1 hour. But apart from that, the rest 2 hours that you are saving, you can actually use up in solving those questions. That would be better. Then in that case, you are not stuck on one type of question. You are seeing 20 different types of question under the same heading. So that is something I would suggest people to do.
So in this last 50 days, like how we can plan our marks, like a day for revision. So like how you used to schedule your last 50 days?
A day schedule looked very simple for me. I would wake up around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, because I'm a more of a night owl. I can sit down and work at night, concentrate when there is no noise around, no distractions around. So that's what I used to do. I would wake up around 11, 12 o'clock in the morning, have a quick brunch instead of waiting for lunch. I would have a quick brunch, and by 1:30 I was free. I would sit down and just like try to give a mock if I can. Otherwise, I will solve 3 sectionals. And by the time it is like 4:30, and then I'll take a break, half an hour, 1 hour break, and go out with my friends and come back in an hour or so. And then but make sure you come back in an hour. That's the important part. Like, don't stay out for 2 hours because that will break the flow. So, and once you come back, that works as a very refreshing time with your friends. And once you come back, what you can do is sit down and analyze those sectionals or mock that you gave. And once you have analyzed it for an hour or so, what you can do is you will have a SWOT analysis for you. Basically, your strengths and weakness. Don't do opportunities and threats not needed, but basically a strength and weakness section on in general topics. And once you have that, you can start practicing those, revising those topics. So let's say you did not attempt a topic at all, but you are confident that you can do it on the final day. Do study that. But let's say if you're not confident about a topic, and you didn't attempt it in the mock, don't worry about it. Don't start new things at all in the last 50 days. That will be a big mistake that anybody can pick up right now.
No, what if they have studied only arithmetic, and out of which they are scoring only 4 or 5 questions correct?
Then they have to make sure to get 100% accuracy first. That's what I'm saying. Topic wise, 100% accuracy is more important than having diverse topics. That is my approach. That was my approach. That's how I saw it helping me. So I would pick good strong topics, and I would say if you are able to solve 12, 13 questions in each section and getting 9 to 10 correct, that is a good place to be right now, 50 days before. But try to reach 100% accuracy. If you are attempting a question, make sure you do it correctly, because you have very less time in the exam, right? So each and every second, each and every minute is important, very important. So let's say you put in 2.5 minutes into a question, which is already a lot. If you are picking up a quant question or something, algebraic question, anything like that. If you're picking up 2.5 minutes, make sure it is correct. You're getting those 3 marks. You're not losing out on another one marks after losing out on time. So accuracy in my mind was more important. So that's why I kept sticking to my old topics. And even if I was, like, personally, I'm a math major, so I am very comfortable with math. So math was never a problem for me. But what I saw in VARC was I was better in RCs than the VA part. So sometimes I would change my strategies for mocks.
How did you identify it? Because most people, they don't know when.
So that's what I was doing analysis, right? When I was doing the analysis, I would have a RC section number of questions attempted, number of
Based on
questions
that.
correct, and then para jumble, para completion, and
Okay.
things like that. And different topics in each section,
Understood.
DILR or whatever, be it a DILR or DILR mixed,
Okay.
LRDI, anything like that. I would have topics mixed, and be it like a circular arrangement or anything like that, things like that. So I would have broader topics, and I would see it a trend over time. Like let's say in the last 3 to 4 days, I have been doing good in parajumbles, even though I'm practicing.
Okay.
The next 1 or 2 mocks, I will leave out parajumble and just concentrate on what I am doing good. Let's say my para completion was in the last 2-3 mocks, it was 100% accurate. I will go for para completion again.
Understood.
To just hammer down my confidence into that section that yes,
this
I am good at
working
it.
on,
Yeah, this is working for me, and I can rely on this on the final day.
Okay.
So basically, on the final day, you need to feel like you are giving an official mock. Basically, it should not feel like an exam, or make yourself believe that the others are also exam and that day is also an exam.
Okay.
Or in general, just consider the other days as mocks, and the final day was also your final mocks. Things like that. It's all about the mindset coming down to it.
So basically, what you're saying, if you have some good strong on some topics, you need to keep on doing those.
Make sure you try to get the 100% attempt rate in that, and then try to hit for accuracy. Once you hit the accuracy, let's say if you are only doing arithmetic, and if I'm not wrong, there are 8 to 10 questions of arithmetic. And let's say even if you can do six correctly, 100% accuracy, 18 is very good. It is at least, if I'm not wrong, 90 percentile
More
in
than
Quants.
that.
So 18 marks is not bad. So if you think like that, it would be very helpful. So like always drill down on your strengths and weakness. It's too late to work on your weakness, but if you have very few strengths, then you might need to find more topics that you can explore, and it might be easy for you.
Like when going likewise, like exploring other topics, how they can choose the topic, like based on the previous year. Okay, these topics are coming more, or if they have maybe number system comes very less number one. If they are good in number system, they can focus.
Yes. As I said, accuracy is the key. Attempt rate is the key. Even if you are picking up number system and there are only 2 questions, make sure you know both of it. You pick up both of them and you get both of them correct. Even if there is one question, pick it up, make sure you finish it and you get it correctly. These 3 steps needs to be solved. So even if it does not depend on the number of questions you are attempting, you don't get percentile on based on numbers. Number of questions. It has to be accuracy. So the percentile game comes down to accuracy. In the first 95 percentile, it's based on number of questions attempted. Beyond that, once you try to start hitting 99, it's all about accuracy. And beyond 99, I would say it's all a blend of both attempt and accuracy, because the more you attempt, the better accuracy you have, the higher percentile you will have, basically beyond 99. That's how the competition looks like, basically.
When you are going, what was your attempt strategy for each section?
So as I said, like I would have my mindset that I'm good at RCs. So what I would do is go in and read the first few lines of each of the RCs. Take like 2 or 3 minutes, but do a quick read. And if I find something very intriguing, I would read the first paragraph. And then out of 4 RCs or 5 RCs, I would see which one is more comfortable with me, which topic I'm really interested in, and things like that. So let's say out of 4, I am interested in 3 of those topics. So I would sit down, I would give myself target of 25 minutes to solve these 3 RCs out of 40 minutes. 3 RCs to solve in 25 minutes. And again, accuracy is key. 12 questions, correct. So in that way, I would drill down. And then if I felt like I was not sure of any of the answers of those 12 questions, I would leave it. Rather than attempting it and getting a minus mark, I would leave it. And try to find that one extra question somewhere else. Even let's say in the VA section, or in the 4th RC. So I would balance it out. Let's say sometimes it might be 4 questions, 1 question from each RC, 4 questions less. So I could only attempt, let's say 9 or 10. So instead of going for and finding those answers, drilling down, I could, if I can't find it within the first 2 or 3 minutes, you will never find it. Trust this process. So in that way, I would go find a better topic or a easier VA section thing. So I would balance it out. That's how I approached VA section, VRC, and going on to DLR. And before transitioning into the next section, I would always keep the last 2 minutes free. If you go and solve a question in the last 2 minutes of a section, there was a high chance that I would get it correct. Personally, I had noticed that because I was under the pressure. So instead of doing that, what I would do is actually sit down and relax for the last 1 minute if I can. 1 minute is nothing really. Instead of losing another 1 mark, you can just leave it at 0. So that was my theory. So once I did that, I was fresh for the next section. So even in the DLR section, when I got into
No, in this VRC also you said like in 25 minutes you used to solve 3.
Yeah.
Like whether you have a timer for each RC or like any timer for each question we should
no,
not spend.
nothing like
Then
that.
how
A
we used
broader
to balance?
25-15 minute break. So
Okay.
25 minutes for RC and 15 minutes for VA. So that's how I used to, and sometimes it used to go to 28 and 12 and things like that. So since since RC was my strength, what I
Okay.
used to do is spend more time on RC
Mm-hmm.
to get more answers correct and get
Understood.
and
No, I'm
through that.
asking per RC you have any timer like that?
Nothing like per RC, no timer. So if it is a long RC, it might have quick questions, shorter questions. So I don't distribute it like that, but I would always have 25-15 minutes.
Okay.
And there's this analogy that I had in my brain when I had started working, that there is a game where there's a sport wherein you have to ride the bull riding, right? In the US, right? Angry bull, you have to ride it. So basically the game is you have to be on the bull for 7 seconds and you qualify for the next round. And it's elimination based.
Okay.
So if you get those guys and blindfold them and tell them to start and stop or stopwatch, they will accurately stop it at 7 seconds. So they are so accustomed to 7 seconds that they know how when that 7 seconds pass. Even with F1 racer, those lights, red,
Correct.
orange, green, they know exactly when to go off.
Correct.
So things like that. So that have that 40-minute timer in your head. 20-minute, 25-minute, you need to train your brain in that way that you have that 25-minute, 40-minute.
Correct, understood.
In a way that you, even when you are solving, you before looking at the clock, you know, oh, I have 22 minutes left, and then you look at the clock, you have 23 or 21 minutes left. So in that way, you need to have an idea of how much time you are left, even without looking at the clock.
Understood.
So that way you need to train your brain. That's why I had 25-15 minutes, and even if I could not solve those RCs in 25, let's say 30 minutes, I would still leave it and move on to the VA section and see if I can get more marks. That might be
because this time management was most people don't.
Yeah. So it's all about the mental game. So once you have that mindset of like what that 40 minutes looks like, what each minute looks like, if you have that clock in your head, that would be very helpful.
This DLR, what was your attempt strategy in the exam?
So again, numbers always spoke to me, so that's why I was more comfortable in the DI section. So I would quickly go through the sets and try to find the DI section.
Okay.
Personally, what I saw was every time I picked up a DI section, pure DI set, I would get 100% attempt, have 100% accuracy. Okay. Pure DI set. So I would always look for those. And if I can get those, I would solve it in the next 6 to 8 minutes. Try to solve it within 10 minutes because that was my strong point. I was very confident with. So even in the exam, what happened was I solved the first set in like 12 minutes, the next set in like 17 minutes, and I was just relaxing. The next 10-12 minutes, I was relaxing. I was trying to find 1 or 2 questions here and there, and then I found those. I got like 11 correct in the ILR. So that's what 10 from before, those 2 sets were correct, and one more question from somewhere else. So I had that. I was comfortable with those DI things, sets. So I would find those. So again, work on your strengths. I can't emphasize this enough. And if I didn't find them, let's say there was no DI pure.
1 year there were no DI.
Pure DI sets. So what I would do is try to find questions which are less confusing. So I would not go for the set. I believe I could solve the set partially, even if I could. Understanding I had of the set. But once I start seeing the questions confuse you.
Correct.
So I would look into the questions of the uncomfortable sets. And if I see very straightforward questions, like let's say if I'm solving a circular arrangement, what is the guy's name who is wearing a blue color shirt? If I have a question like this, like these, I would go in and solve that set. Okay. But let's say if I had a question, what is the name of the person who is sitting third to the right of the blue shirt guy? That a small mistake, even if I make while solving, that would ruin me. Correct. In those questions. So these complicated questions, I would try to judge and find it. So once you have given enough mocks, you will see these difference between questions. So that is the thing. Practicing, sitting down and practicing is the key. Once you start seeing these differences, that really would make the difference.
Just see, even you can find through solving either previous year.
Exactly. Previous years are the most important. Like every 10 days, give a previous year, I would suggest. So in the next 10 days, you should have given at least 3 to 4 mocks, and 1 previous year. Try to stimulate that condition. 10 days, 3 to 4 normal mocks and 1 previous year. 3 to 4 normal mocks and personally, what I did, I started in, I think, May 18th or something,
Okay.
mid-May, and by I was giving a mock even 2 days before the CAT. So in I think 6 months or so, I had given like around 94 mocks during my preparation.
Like there are a lot of different people you are like learning through mocks kind of thing.
So again, if you can't learn through mocks, if you feel like there is a difficult topic, go and sit down and try to solve 5 questions on YouTube.
Okay.
Find there are n number of playlists people have created for every topic, everything, every
Revision
year,
video, marathon, so
everything. So you just sit down with the video, try to solve with the tutor. Once you see the question, before the tutor says anything, before even if it gives a smallest of the hints, pause the video, try to solve it yourself, and then go in and see if there was a better way to solve it. If this was the way, the best way to solve it that you used, go through skip the section and go to the next question and things like that. So if you are more of a visual learner, do that. I was more of a mock taker and like just stimulating my brain. So I would sit down and instead solve Sudoku. I had this nonogram game in my phone, which I used to color boxes. So that led me to solve those Rubik's questions and things like that.
Like more of DI kind of thing you can solve, or the table filling kind of.
Exactly. So table filling kind of things. So I was more comfortable in those things. So if I had a LR, I was even in LRs, I was not that I was bad at it, but I had subtopics that I was comfortable in. DI across all the topics I was comfortable.
Okay.
But LR I was comfortable in circular arrangement, and let's say similar to those, like there were like people sitting across each other, arrangement type questions, like people sitting across
sometimes
stadiums,
data arrangements also,
and things like that. And like there were 5 children who bought 5 things from the market at this price, this discount, and things like that. Again, you had to simulate a table sorts of thing. So that made it more easy for me, even in the LR section.
Okay.
So I was working on my strengths across all sections. Again, in the last 2 minutes, 1 minute,
also
I would relax.
You told that like after solving 2 sets, you used to find some 1 or 2 questions there. And like how to find those 1 or 2 loose questions? Like because you may be solving those questions in last 5 minutes. At that time, we can't able to go through the entire.
So it was not necessary. It's not necessary to find these, but since I had 10 to 12 minutes left, I could find those. So let's say if you did not attempt a DI section, and because it was too lengthy, you felt like you had to do 2 calculations. That's also how I judged it. If it was DI, I wouldn't go straight in. I would see if it is too calculation heavy, or I had to use a calculator or do a lot of calculation, that would waste my time. Anyways, I'm getting 3 marks for the other question also, 3 marks for this.
Correct.
So what I would do is leave this. So if you could find these types of questions where you were very calculation heavy and the data is given in the question, you just have to calculate it accurately. You can calculate it and find those. So instead of solving the whole set, you can find certain hints that help you solve 1 or 2 questions accurately and go through it, basically.
It is for
it's
DI.
basically working around backwards from the maze. So let's say we had mazes, right, where we had to draw lines to get to one. So it's basically working backwards. Basically finding an easy answer and then going backwards and see if that answer is fitting in that question or not. There are 4 options anyways, to pick up one of the options, see if it fits, and based on how far away you are from the answer, you choose the other option and things like that. So it's more of a hit and trial, but again, it's not necessary. Only go for it once you know that you have 8 to 10 questions correct. Because then you are throwing away marks.
Correct. Nice. So, and also like I forgot to ask this in VRC, like when you have a confusion between 2 options, like how did you?
This is one of the biggest nightmares that any MBA aspirants could have. 50%, and it's almost 90% of the questions where 50% of them are 2 questions are very 50-50.
Okay.
So what I learned from a lot of tutors was, a lot of people on YouTube, was that try to eliminate options. Let's say there are 4 options. I eliminated 2 of them because they are completely incorrect.
For elimination also, we have a lot of elimination strategies. That is also available in YouTube.
Yeah, that's also, YouTube is the best thing out there, I would say.
Correct.
But apart from that, once you have let's say 2 options eliminated because they were entirely incorrect, what you can do is, for the rest of the 2 things, see which one would replace that. Like most of the questions are directly targeted to the RCs, right? Correct. If it is not understanding based, if they're directly targeted to the RC, what you can do is pick up those answers and replace those sections in the RC and see if it still makes sense.
Understood.
In a way, if this option is more, which of the two options is more fitting in that RC, if I had to remove that section. If I had, let's say, if I have to summarize one paragraph and this line summarizes it, these two lines, these two options, and I would replace it and try to read the RC again and see if it still makes sense.
Understood.
So that's how small intricate details you will see once you start replacing, once you start seeing that word by word, if this word is actually worth going there and things like that. Once you start breaking it down word by word, you will find one small word that will differentiate the two,
Understood.
and one of them will be a little incorrect and the other would be correct. And again, it drills down to practice. Like in RCs, I would suggest what I noticed a lot, I missed this before as well, was when I was reading it, I would pay attention to questions that are in the RCs. So let's say if the author is asking a question.
Okay.
So based on this, a lot of journalists were saying something like this. Was it right? I thought through for a whole week, and then this is what I realized. So that is when they are changing the hook.
Correct.
That is when they are putting their own opinion. That is when the real author comes in. Until then it was storytelling.
Like
it was
not his point of view.
It was just foundation build up to it. So once they said give you questions in the RCs, that's when you need to be more alert, have your spidey senses up, and feel like there might be a question from this section. And there are words to also focus, although, and things like nevertheless, and as a result of, things like that connects the broader previous thing to the next broader thing. Basically a bridge. Need to find those bridges. Once you find those bridges, you will see that 80 to 90% of questions that come in the RCs are based on those things. And another thing that helps in the RC is speed reading. So if you go on Google, just write speed paragraph reading, you will get a website wherein you paste a paragraph and it will just show you one word at a time, and then you can control the speed frequency, and then you practice how fast you can get. So if you can make sense of the spelling, whole sentence even without looking at the whole sentence, just the words.
What was the thing?
Speed reading.
Speed reading.
Yes.
Like in Google. Okay.
Just do speed reading, speed paragraph reading, anything like that. You will find it. I'll send you the link if I find it, and then you can flash it. Yeah.
Also, like in order to, what was your usual reading habit will be like?
So I have never been a reader. So I've never read books. You will never see me with newspapers. Only time you will see newspaper in my hand when there is a samosa on top of the paper. That's when you will see newspaper in my hand. But apart from that, what I did was I actually did the speed run reading thing. And another thing is you can skip the articles, those filler words off and things like that. You can skip those and just read the broader, bolder words, bigger important words, and try to connect a story in your own head, joining those words. So what would that simulate is you actually writing that RC. So you actually being a part of that RC. So that would actually help you understand that RC better. So if you just look at the important words and try to connect the stories, that would really help. So what I did was, like early on, like let's say in the next 10 days, what I would do is the next 5 RCs, what I would suggest is try to briskly read through the whole thing, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, read the whole RC. Even if you don't understand, you should know at least the names of the people, the place, of where it is situated, what is the broader topic, what is the conclusion, things like that. Minor things you need to pick up. Once you have the idea of the whole thing, 30, 45 seconds, 1 minute, go in and read it more carefully. Then you will have a better understanding of the RC. You can have this strategy as well. Someone else suggested me a strategy wherein you read the questions first, and then you know which things to target in the RCs, and then you go in and read and concentrate on those RCs. You can do this as well. So try to have those strategies, different strategies in every mock, and see which works with you. So it's very subjective. I would never suggest anyone to go with one strategy. If you see one strategy working, even still try for another strategy. If you
increase the accuracy or save time.
Exactly. The more arrows in your quiver, the better it is. You don't know how the final day would look like. So the more strategies you have, the better it is at the end of the day.
Also nowadays, in VRC there are different types of questions. Like one such question will be they will ask double negative question.
Yeah, double negation.
Sometimes they will have single negative.
Yeah.
Like, how do you used to manage those types of questions?
So you always have a rough sheet with you. What I was doing when I was practicing from the book early on, what I was doing is underline it, or from a paper when I used to underline the double negation and things like that, so that I have it remembered. And when you are actually solving it on a screen, you can't do that. So you always have a rough sheet with you. Try to write down pointers. So when you are reading the RC questions, when you have done reading the RC, go through the questions once, all four questions, without going through the options. Go through the four questions once, and then have a small rough idea of what the question is and what the answer should be and where the answer is. These three questions. These three things, once you have answered, in short, one word. Let's say if the question is, what was the journalist feeling when they were reporting about this incident? So feeling, you can just write journalist feeling, and then straight question, no negation. And if the same question comes in a way in which it says, the journalist felt everything below, but while reporting the incident, you will write that down. This is a double negation. So when you try to solve those questions, you have that. Before answering, just have a quick look on that thing, those three things. If you have found those three things, go ahead, be confident, mark ahead, and go. So if you have those notes, and early on, very rarely you have to do this. It sticks in your brain once you do it for 4 or 5 mocks. It sticks in your head. You don't really need to make notes on the final day, but have this as a habit again. In your mental notes is also helpful, but to get to the mental notes, you have to actually start making physical notes first.
Correct. What else we can like while reading each RC, you said like you will focus on only main words.
Yes.
But some people might, like, after reading one paragraph, they will write some notes. Like second, it will be like too much time consuming. Or
I agree, but then again, if it is coming down to accuracy, and let's say you solve 12 questions quickly and you get 9 correct. I solve 8 questions and I got all 8 correct. How many marks will you get? 9 into 3 minus 3. So you are also at 24. I am also at 24. But you solved 12 questions. I only solved 8 questions. My brain is not that tired. So I am fresh for the next section also, and for the last section also. Since VRC is the first section, you can't put all your brain cells, all your hard work into the first section.
Correct.
You need to strategize that stamina also, and your mental stamina and things like that. So if it comes down to accuracy and I solve only 8 questions, I get, both of us got the same marks, 24 marks. But you worked extra hard. Right? In my way, I was at my own pace and I did it. So it's not who gets to 24 first. In the race which we learnt in our childhood about the hare and the tortoise, there was an end line, there was a finish, but there is no finish line here in this exam. So it's not about who gets to 24 first or who gets to 25 first, who gets to 99 percentile first. No. You need to get to 99 percentile. That's what is important. So even if you are slow, and even if you can attempt just 2 RCs and get all 8 questions correct, that's also good. So personally, what I started was quickly VRC. How I targeted in the beginning was, basically I would just pick 2 RCs in the beginning, spend 20 minutes each, and try to get accuracy. Then I hopped on to 3 RCs, and then I tried a different one, 2 RCs, 1 VA. And things like that. I did a lot of permutation combinations, saw what I was comfortable in, and then that's how I went through it.
Okay, bro. Then for DLR, like we discussed about how you approach this thing. Like from now on, if they want to prepare or how they need to practice, means what kind of thing they can focus on? Like focus on previous years or whatever mocks they have.
Previous year is really, really important. So as I said, every 3 or 4 mocks take a previous year. But apart from that, for every mock, every sectional, what you need to do is, even if you didn't attempt a particular question in a DLR section, try to solve it before looking at the solution. Take your jolly time. Take 1 hour if you can. Once you solve it in 1 hour, you will know that you can solve it at least. Even if you don't attempt it, you will never know that you could solve it even in 1 hour. Let's say you do this for the same topic 5 times. Gradually, you will come down to 20 minutes, 15 minutes. That's how you make your weakness into a strength.
So know the pattern, like how
know the pattern, and basically trusting yourself in the DLR section. So even once you're done with the analysis for the DLR section, try to solve all the 4 or 5 sets that you got. Even partially you can solve. Spend 1 hour. Even if you can partially solve it, and get that confidence in, get the approach, at least the understanding of how they approach it, or how the middle game is played, how to go through the question, how to answer the questions, things like that. Once you have those things, different segments, it's like a chess game. There is a opening, there is a middle game, and there is a end game. Opening is basically understanding the set, middle game is solving the set, end game is answering the questions correctly. So even if you don't understand the question, you spend 1 hour, you try to understand the question, and you get good at the middle game and the end game. It is you practicing for the whole thing, right?
Correct.
That is your strengths only increasing. So spend 1 hour even on one set if you want to. Then even if you solve it or don't solve it, try to see the solution and see if you're correct or not, and if there was a better way. It comes on. For DLR only, I would say solve all questions. For VRC, I would say stick to your strengths. Quants also, again, just strengths. For DLR, I would say, because nobody knows what DLR brings.
Correct.
In quants, you can still guess 8 to 10 arithmetic question, 5 to 6 algebra questions, 1 to 2 number systems, and things like that. VRC,
DLR, sometimes they will change the question pattern also, 6-4 or 5-5.
Anything like that. So, and in VRC, there will be like 12, 16 RC questions and 8 VA questions. You are very accurately sure. DLR, you don't know anything. You just know there will be 20 questions. Right. Correct. So in the DLR section, you need to be ready for anything and everything, particularly DLR section. So I would suggest solve all the questions if you can after the mock or the sectional that you're taking.
Okay. Then when it comes to quant, like how you used to approach, like in the beginning, some people spend like 3 to 5 minutes to choose the question. Like
that's a very smart approach. I also did it. So I had this in my head that I could solve certain questions in 30 seconds, certain questions in 60, and certain 90. Beyond that, it is not attemptable for me. Should not attempt more than 90 seconds for me. Personal goals. Personal goals. I had this section-wise thing. You can have 60, 90, 120. It's up to you, up to your convenience, up to your speed, and things like that. So what I did was, I would again on my rough paper, I would jot down things that I could solve in 30 seconds. Let's say I could solve only question 1, 13, and 19, 30 seconds. I would write in front of 30, I would have written those question numbers. So I had that strengths planned, I had the approach planned, and once I did that for the first 3-5 minutes, I would go in and secure the first 30 seconds questions. Even if it took 60 seconds, still it's okay. I don't need to solve it in 30 seconds. 30 seconds just tells me that I can solve it 100% accurately, blindfolded. 60 seconds tells me that I have to little bit work hard and get it correct. 90 seconds is I had to spend time, look at the concepts, combine different concepts, and then solve it. I can solve it. I am comfortable in all concepts. I can solve it, but I need to solve it to get to the answer. So that was my idea of 30, 90, 60 and 90 seconds. It was not actually about the time. So once I go, let's say I had 4 questions in 30 seconds. I need to get those 4 questions. And even if I can't solve any of the other questions, I have secured 12 marks.
Correct.
So in that way, I had those section-wise distributed. Let's say you have 4, 2, and 1 question. That's 7 questions. That's still enough. Start from that. Get 100% accuracy and things like that. So I would distribute time like that and get.
Okay, like in between, if couldn't able to solve a question means, but it's been like more than 70, 90 minutes, 90 seconds.
Okay.
Then when you will stop and mark for review and go for the next question?
So personally, I would sit on a question for roughly 120, 150 seconds, 2.5 seconds, never more than 3 minutes. Once you're stuck on a question 3 minutes, beyond that you're wasting time.
Correct.
So stop at max 3 minutes. If you can't solve it, drop your pen, go to the next question, and come back and solve it.
That's all.
But if you have spent 3 minutes, don't come back. That's what I would suggest. But if you have spent 2 minutes and you are dropping it and coming back, okay, you still have 1 minute to come back. Because beyond 3 minutes, if you're coming back, you're adding another 1 minute or 2 minutes. So that would make it a 5-minute question. So I am trying to stick to those 3 to 4 minute question per question. So in that way, I would have drop my pen. You should know which fights to fight, basically. Once you start solving a question, it never happened with me that any of the 30 seconds question I couldn't solve. Rarely happened that any of the 90 seconds questions.
You can identify through this mock test itself.
Exactly, mock sectional. So you find unlimited mocks online, free. Every other company is giving a free mock every other week. And there are a bunch of sections. If you go to Unacademy, there are like 15-minute sections, 3 questions, 5 questions. Sit down, solve those.
Correct.
Make use of all the resources. I didn't buy all the 94 mocks that I gave. I bought like 30, 35.
Rest that's the usual you will get from a mock.
Yeah, rest I procured from everywhere. So if I really had told all my coaching centers that I studied used mocks from, everybody would have had my photo because I got 99 percentile. Everybody would have had put my photo. But I am being very honest. I used Unacademy, I used Rodha, I used CrackU, I used Time, I used CL, I used Cat King, all of it, all resources. Because at the end of the day, you don't know who's going to make the question paper.
Correct.
What the mindset was at that point. Even if you make a question paper today and tomorrow, there will be two different question papers, right? It can be a second version, second iteration of the same paper. You
Correct.
ditch the first one. So the second one might be a more difficult one. Things like that. So you really never know what kind of difficult
And they
or
are
easy
taking
thing.
3 different papers in the exam day.
Exactly. So you don't know what the other sections are also like.
Correct.
So have that mindset ki you are ready for any kind of mock. Don't stick to one coaching center. Never stick to one thing. Never put all your eggs in the same basket. I would go against this idea of sticking to just get. So I have signed up for XYZ company and I have to. I will clear it
Choose
through
this.
this. No.
Correct.
The other companies, the other tutors are there to give you some knowledge, right? Some teachings, right?
Correct.
So have an open mindset, be open to all, be learning. That would be one of my advices that I would try to give.
Okay. When we talked about marks, like when our mark score was like fluctuating.
That's the
Like before that, we need to ask this: what was your attempt rate in each section in the final mock test? Like,
I don't remember. It was like almost 10 months ago. But I would say I was sticking to 10 questions each section.
each section. Okay.
And quants, I would go somewhere around 12, 13 questions. But 10 questions minimum in each section. That was my approach.
Your accuracy was?
Accuracy was somewhere around 90-95%. DLR, mostly it was 100%. If I am attempting 5 questions, I would get 5 questions correct. And if I am connecting 10, I would get 10. So DLR had that comfort zone. So that really boosted me all the time.
So overall score was how much? RA score.
Again, I don't remember.
Somewhere like above 90, 80?
Something around 92, 93, somewhere around that.
Like this you got it in the final exam, but during your 94 marks, starting from you have taken...
I have gotten negative marks in 3 sections, all 3 sections.
Like how, when the score was like completely fluctuating?
Again, that would actually help me in finding more weak points of me. So let's say if on a particular mock I got negative marks in quants, I know that I'm not comfortable in any of these topics, any of these things. So I would sit down, solve those 2022 questions again. Let's say skip some of the number systems and all those things that I personally hated topics. I would leave those, but I would sit down and solve those questions and try to find 3 or 4 questions similar to those questions in some books or some study material out there, and try to find solve those kinds of questions, and then maybe try to make a couple of questions myself. So
nowadays you can copy and put it in ChatGPT.
Exactly, ChatGPT. That's what I used to do with RCs as well. I would give it big A1 essay articles, like 4,000, 3,000 words. I would time myself, give myself like 8 minutes to read the whole A1 essay, and ask ChatGPT to give me 20 questions, and I would see how much accuracy I've had. So I had trained the ChatGPT into a better AI builder. So it had how to ask.
It knows your data, so that based on that,
I had given it last 10 years of question papers, a lot of mocks that I had made, and things like that.
Good. This, like, apart from this, what else you did, like in this mock analysis thing?
Nothing really different, I would say, is concentrating on strengths, finding your strengths. I have been repeating this the whole video. But once you have done that, again, one more thing that a lot of students see is their marks in these mocks. Again, these marks are not going to take you to any of the IIMs. Just remember, even if you're getting 201 out of 201, you're still not going to get into Ahmedabad or Indore in a mock. Even if you're getting 0 out of 201, you're still not being denied to any admission.
Final day is the game.
Final day is the game changer. You need to have confidence about the final day. As I said, the final day should also feel like a mock, and you need to be that comfortable with that thing, basically. So even if your marks are low, don't beat yourself to it. Actually work extra hard. Instead of sitting down and drooling or crying and things like that, and just sitting and imagining things, overthinking, sit down and solve questions. Actually work on it. Control the controllables. This is something that I stick throughout my life as well. And you have seen that throughout your journey, 1.5 years at MBA. There is literally very few things that you can control in your life. And once you have control on those things, everything falls into the
Correct.
into line, and everything starts happening the right way. So control the controls. What can you control? You can't control the difficulty of the paper. You can't control how you felt during the paper, what your approach was, but you can control how many questions you can solve today, how much extra work can you put in. Every mock is pushing you 1 or 2 percentile above. So in my opinion, everybody should give throughout their CAT journey 40 to 45 mocks. That will take you to 2 percentile per mocks. I would assume you are at 10 percentile in the beginning. It's almost 95, 98 you are stopping at. So that's how I gave myself confidence. Every mock I would find that 1 percentile, 2 percentile learning that would get myself ahead of that 1 percentile, 2 percentile people. So 1 percentile is 3,000 students. So in that way you can be like, oh, if I get control over one topic and I am sure that I am 100% accurate, 100% attempt rate, you are ahead of already 1.5 lakh people.
Correct.
Almost 50% of the people you are already ahead. So in that way, if you see every mock as a learning, as a growth, as a small increment to your learning, even if you're getting full marks, don't sit down and be like, oh, I got full marks, now I can chill, party, drink, whatever I can spend time with my family. Yeah, definitely spend time with your family, but don't waste your time. See where you can still work that extra hard. Sit down. If it is a lucky day, if your brain is working extra hard that day, solve another set of sectionals, one more sectional, two more sectional, or do something more like related to MBA. Sit down and watch a MBA video, a campus tour. That really motivates you. So on my low days, I would always sit down, watch Kozhikode campus videos and Shillong campus videos.
Nowadays they can follow Instagram page.
Exactly, pages as well. Go follow I Am Trichy. There are so many things happening every day. So you will start feeling connected to that thing. Once you start feeling connected, you will work extra hard. Why do people work hard for their families more? Because they are connected to them, right? You don't work hard for a stranger because you're not connected to that person. So the more connected you are to the journey, to the end goal, it will help you work harder in that way. So that would be my approach.
Like when you are at Cat King, there will be like a lot of people like who are scoring 99+%. Like how do they approach? What kind of mindset they will be?
So I was working around people who were from different backgrounds. One was an engineer, one was from a hotel management background. So this hotel management guy was better at DLR and VRC, less comfortable in the quant section. But then on the other hand, the engineer was more comfortable in quants and DLR. So I used to see how they use shortcuts and how they were comfortable with certain things. Let's say if they see a question of volumes and mixes, ratios and proportions, things like that. These engineers really gave me a lot of shortcuts and how to quickly find options that really stick to the answers. So let's say there is a question wherein there is a 28-liter container which is filled with milk, and you replace 10, 15, 20, 25, and like this 4 or 5 times you replay it iteration wise. So there was a shortcut that my friend gave me, and I just straight up put that shortcut in the formula, and I would go ahead and solve the answer. I would not think about what are the contents, how many times did. There was a simple formula shortcut that I. So these are things that you can get from others. These shortcuts, these things that really make that difference. So if Gigi is solving a particular question in 60 seconds and I am solving it in 20 seconds, I can solve 3 questions in the same time he can. If both of us are getting 60 seconds left and he can only, in the last 1 minute, he solves only 1 question and I could go through 3 questions. And even if I get 2 of them correct, that's 6 minus 1, 5 marks, and you are at still 3 marks. Still 2 marks different. That's a big difference. So in that way, if you get those shortcuts, those tables memorized and things like that, even in the VRC section, a lot of my friends told me how to do the jumble, parajumble and things like that, paraphrasing and things like that. All those things, they give me tips and tricks. So that's how you can approach your peers. Have a peer, have a group of 3 to 4, not more than 5 people, WhatsApp, wherein you can share your journey, wherein you can be like, oh, this is how much I scored today. This topic is not comfortable with me. Guys, have you seen any good video resource or anything out there on the internet? Send me something. So it has to be a mutual thing. And later on, 6 months down the line, when you all 4 or 5 of them, you guys are in different colleges or the same colleges, you will feel a different level of connection between you guys. You will be connected through across states, across
Correct.
countries. You will help each other in the same. It's almost the same subjects. It's
Because
almost
my friends are in like a lot of different IIMs.
Yeah, you are helping each other out for case studies and things like that, for
Correct.
anything, dossiers that you guys make yourself and things like that, any notes that you can
Or
send
like
across.
even if you get
So it
job
becomes-
also, you can refer them. So many things.
so many things that can be done. So that builds a community in you, that builds a teamwork spirit in you, that is very helpful in the corporate later on. That is something I think you will agree that final placement people really look for, that teamwork, that working with people and things like that. So you would agree. So this thing that started small with your CAT journey can build up into a bigger network. And who knows, 10 years down the line, you 4 or 5 of you starting your own business, the next $1 trillion.
That's what happening
Yeah.
most of the places.
Mhm.
So now on the day of exam, like how was your mindset? What are the things you look for? Like some people have some rituals, right?
Yeah,
Every
yeah,
day
yeah.
we used to follow them.
Yeah. So personally, what I did on the final day was woke up fresh-minded, did not touch any of the books. One day before, I was out with my friends whole day.
Okay.
I knew that one day before preparations
Saturday.
never gonna help. Never work on your Saturday. Saturdays are fun days for me.
Okay.
So I was out with my friends, chilling, just hanging around in the parks and things like that, going on our bikes and things like that. I was not at all concerned about the exam because I had given 94 mocks. I had trusted myself. I had confidence in myself that whatever comes up, I will give my 100%, regardless what the result is. I was not working for the result. In a way, I was, but at the end of the day, the journey counts. So what I did on the final day was woke up very early in the morning, freshen up and things like that, and then I was just talking to my family, nobody else, not interacting with a lot of phones or anything like that. Had a very blank slate in my mind, not trying to put anything in my head that could stick with me during my exams. And once I was going to the exam, my dad was coming along, dropping me, waiting there. He was as excited as throughout the journey for me. He was sending me YouTube videos every other day. While I was working at Cat King, he was sending me Cat King videos that I saw being recorded on the same day. So he was sending me videos. That was funny. But that was really motivating that my dad is working equally as hard, giving his 100%. So it's that mindset that took me through. And on the final day, he was with me, and I had playing music throughout the car ride. And once I was there, I sat down on my table and I was just staring at the screen. I was trying to just have a way in which I could put like those blinders that horses have. In a way, simulate a blinder that you have and just look at the screen. You can't even see the rest of the monitor.
People near right, left, or
people will be moving around. People will
for
be.
me, it's like for me, it's like in a corner space.
Yeah. I also got the corner. Very lucky. We got the corner seats. So there's no one on your right or left, one place. But people will move a lot. People will make noises. So you need to start preparing for that as well. Even when you are studying, try to not distract yourself from certain noises that are happening in the house. Like your mom is working in the kitchen, she might drop an utensil. There are kids in your house, they might shout, phone might ring. So try to remove those things, not let it affect you during your preparation and things like that. Understood. So if you do that, that will help you on the final day as well. There are these test centers are not in the middle of nowhere. They are next to roads, they're next to highways. If you are giving in Mumbai, good luck. There are always honking and everything around. People's invigilators' phones might ring. There were invigilators talking in my exam hall, being like, "Oh, get me chai, get me this chai, less sugar chai," and things like that. In Hindi, they were shouting. So that really a little bit distraction. I was not prepared for that, but yeah, I would give this as a heads up. Be prepared for that as well. And apart from that, every time you sit down and give a mock, I would say sit down to give the mock half an hour before you actually start the mock. Just sit down at the screen, do nothing. You have a paper and pen. Correct. Try to scribble things. Try to jot down shortcuts that you have in your head. Anything like that. Small tips and tricks that you had in your brain. Try to write those things. Try to spend that half an hour without doing anything. Having a clear blank set, because that is how it will happen on the final day as well. They will get you inside half an hour. They will close the doors half an hour before the paper starts. So you need to be there. There's a lot of registration. You need to scan your iris, finger scan. There's a lot of things. So be there.
You need to take all the proofs as well. If you miss anything, then gone.
So you need to be there at the exam hall 1 hour before. So try to simulate that in your house as well. Sit at the table wherever you're giving the exam half an hour before. Try to lock the room. Try to ask your mom to maybe walk across you half an hour, 45 minutes every half hour. So that it simulates the invigilator walking around and things like that. And in a way, try to like make the room more realistic, basically.
Correct.
Don't try to solve it on two screens. Keep one
Or else like,
screen.
you can invite your friends and take mocks in the same room.
Exactly. Take mocks in the same room. This is what we did as well. 3 of us giving mocks in the same room and things like that. So that really simulates the final day situation, I would say. And don't put music on and give any of the exams. Don't practice with music on. You will not have music on the final day. So don't prepare your brain in a way that music can help you get rid of distractions. No. Final day you would not have. So don't train it in the
like
wrong way.
complete silence.
Yeah. But then randomly you will hear some honking outside, some cha-cha shouting, something.
Shit.
So that is very distracting. So again, it's life. That's the whole world living in reality, right? So you need to be aware and prepared.
Like in one of my attempts, there was like marriage function was happening.
Exactly. There might happen that dogs might start shouting, dogs might start chasing each other and things like that. So anything will happen. So be prepared for anything and everything. That's what the final day is all about. And again, the actual exam giving should feel like a mock. I can't emphasize this enough. It should feel like a mock. And one small thing I would say to like wrap up, because I've been saying a lot, I need some water to drink. But yeah, one last thing I would say for the next 50 days, have those blinders, the horse blinders in your head. You should not think about anything apart from your CAT exam. CAT exam on your mind, that's it. Just the CAT exam, it should be something dangling over your head, always on your behind. The shadow should feel like it's your CAT exam.
Whatever we do, we need to have CAT in the back of the mind.
In the back of the mind. Once you do it for the first 3-4 days, everything you start relating to the CAT exam, you will start only doing things that are related to the CAT exam. It's your brain being controlled. Your brain doesn't have a brain of its own. It's all about
whatever we say, it's controlling.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, have those blinders on your head. Trust yourself, be confident, and work on your strengths. That's what
I think this video is really helpful for you guys. It will be like, if you have any doubts or if you want to ask further, in this video description, I'll be linking his LinkedIn and Instagram handle. So you can also ask directly some questions to him also. Or if you want to add like further question to discuss in upcoming podcast, you can leave it in the comment. So bye.
Bye guys. Thank you.
Don't worry.